he's been saying if you go to Antarctica, you will be faced with gunpoint and turned away. Where's the guns, Nathan? Nathan! You lied! Nathan! 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 Nathan!
You can't have it both ways. Either they measured a flat Earth for the angles that they measured. That's what they did do, by the way. There's no two ways about this, yeah? It's not like I'm capable of being debunked. Toon measured the Earth flat. That's why she's yelling my name into the snow, yeah? If you don't get that yet, yeah, wait. You'll get it eventually, you bunch of dumbos. This is it. It's on screen. This is an elevation angle measurement to the sun. That's all it is. It's a flat Earth prerequisite. What's that? The ground's bending? Well, then it's not an angle measurement. It's two straight lines, you bunch of dumbos. Now, you can say, Nathan says Earth is measured flat. That's Toon's reaction so far. That was his most recent response to the 103rd rendition of me pointing out this is a flat Earth only measurement that he's made. Facts. The facts of the matter in this case and point it out diagrammatically. These are the flat Earth measurements made in Antarctica.
Just posted in chat. This one says, rest in peace, Flat Earth, and it's from Celebrate Truth.
Welcome to the final experiments.
Final experiments with an S on the end. Duffy, do you not feel like a stupid moron? Experiments. So where's the finality? Is it in the first one? Second one? Third one? Where's the final bit coming? Yeah? Let me introduce you to the Lone Rangers.
I knew you would get a kick.
Preponderance of evidence.
So where's the finality, right? There was me thinking this TFE, the final experiment, was this. Going to Antarctica, calling stuff experiments and measuring Earth flat with elevation angles to the sun for 24 hours, right? So you go to Antarctica, you measure Earth flat, you call it an experiment, and then what, when that doesn't hit home hard enough, we need another final experiment. It's the preponderance of finality. Crackhead. Are you insane, Duffy? Do you feel like a stupid shill? 'Cause you look like one, and the words pouring out your dumbass mouth make you sound like one.
Against flat Earth. And the final experiments all confirm the globe.
Do they? How do they confirm a globe when you measured elevation angles off a flat surface level? Now, if they confirmed a globe, it would mean that the surface level measured for the angles to the sun was curved and they're not angles anymore. So I'm a bit confused, Duffy. Do you want to let me know? Because I studied your experiments and they were elevation angles. I had them on screen earlier. I made it explicitly clear to my audience what you were measuring. I also told one of the participants while he was measuring them, you're measuring Earth flat too.
Measure Earth flat too.
Stop over talking.
Like with your elevation angles in your challenge.
You're changing the
Maybe if you keep talking indefinitely.
It was beautiful. I talked to you about Antarctica. You deflected to measurement. Where's the guns, Nathan? Where's the guns? I don't see any guns, Nathan! 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 You lied!
Someone's been recently escorted away at gunpoint because they didn't have the forms filled in like you bunch of dickheads did. Yeah, so you can fly straight and level with your altitude measured in the black box data with respect to the sea level that you flow over parallel with it in level flight. To arrive south, a destination that's only describable on a flat plane, to measure elevation angles to the sun for 24 hours off a flat plane. What's that, you confirmed globe? Well, then they weren't measurements of angles, Duffy. So are you tossing your stupid non-experiment measurement of angles off a flat plane surface to the curb because you confirmed how curvy the angle was? That sounds stupid, Duffy. You sound stupid.
These experiments were all conducted in December of 2024 when 4 flat earthers and 4 globers went on a journey to Antarctica with
the flight measuring straight and level journeys with respect to surface level, the altitude indication in all black box data for all flights always shows that Earth is measured flat. You can't fly straight and level, parallel with the ground at a fixed altitude. It's called flight level, unless Earth is flat. So the journey, as was pointed out by Brian's logic, he was also on the panel when your mate down there measuring elevation angles of a flat Earth called me.
Life partner, the mute button. Turn it off.
You done?
Right?
We measure Earth flat too.
Stop over talking.
Like with your elevation angles.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you'd like to straw man what flat earthers say, but I'm pretty sure I was the only flat earther that was communicated with directly from Antarctica. What I say in regards to the deflection to measurement.
You about Antarctica. You deflected to measurements.
End quote tune. He said it after calling me from the surface of Antarctica. The one he measured flat with the angles he said I tried to deflect with when he deflected to where the guns were on your pre-planned trip.
I don't see any guns, Nathan!
We spent time in Punta Arenas, Chile, which is at the southern tip of
South is a flat earth only direction. Hello, numpty. Point south. South is not down. South is horizontal. Go and buy yourself a compass and look at what south does. Are you a crackhead? Do you not know what south is? The moment you say south, you can only travel south flat. Have you never used a map, you stupid dickhead?
before flying to Antarctica.
Yeah, on a flat plane. Again, Brian pointed this out to you personally, didn't he, Duffy? In the communication that Brian had with you that you and I have never had. Like, you've lied about communicating with me via email for invitations that I've turned down. You're a lying bag. Like, you will be condemned to hell for your deceit. Because that's all you do, lie. Now, you also justified to congregations of Christians that that's perfectly okay. It ain't. You're a deceitful scumbag who lies. Meanwhile, Brian has been in touch with you specifically about the journey being flat. Level flight, dum-dum.
This entire trip allowed us to conduct historic experiments.
No, you measured the Earth flat with elevation angles. That's what you actually did, Duffy. That's why it's now Lone Ranger's preponderance of final experiments, plural. Because you measured Earth flat there. Do you not recall the sound of my name ringing around the Antarctic snow, man?
Guns, Nathan! Guns, Nathan! It's Nathan! It's Nathan!
Did you not hear him? Let me give you a reconstruction of what occurred. Yeah, you're measuring Earth flat there, Toon. Where are the guns, Nathan? You lied! Since 2018, you've been saying you'd be stopped at gunpoint. And you know what? Recently, they have actually stopped someone at gunpoint and turned them away. Just so we got that little stupid, insane demonstration of a madman yelling my name into the snow because I pointed out that you're measuring Earth flat there, Toon. Yeah? So, Duffy, given that you heard my name ringing out in the snow...
Nathan! 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 Nathan!
I'm surprised you're still calling them experiments. Yeah? It was so frustrating to the person measuring them. That would be the elevation angles that are only capable of being angles if they're measured on a flat Earth. Yeah, he yelled my name and talked about guns. I'm pretty sure you heard him.
Nathan!
And collect data firsthand from an area of the world that few people will ever have the opportunity to visit. And
I didn't need to. I mean, I got told firsthand while it was occurring that there was flat Earth elevation angle measurements being made.
You measure Earth flat too.
Stop over talking.
Like,
Don't change the topic. The topic is Antarctica.
Nathan, I'm standing in Antarctica right now, watching the sun. It did not set for 24 hours.
that doesn't change how Earth is measured.
You
It's
certainly-
measured flat.
Absolutely 100% lied about the Earth. Turn off your mute button there, Nathan.
You done?
Right?
We measure Earth flat too.
Stop over talking.
Let me show you what an elevation angle measurement looks like. Like this. Every time you see a number with a degree after it, when they describe the angle to the sun for a 24-hour period, there's an angle along the flat Earth surface to the GP of the sun. That's the point directly below the sun on the ground at 90 degrees to the sun. It's an angle. An elevation angle, specifically requiring two straight lines, one being the surface level. Because that's what they're measuring. Now, if they say they affirm that this is bent, then none of their measurements being called experiments were actually angles. because that's two straight lines. One's the surface. As depicted here. Now, this isn't my depiction. This is just an angle being represented to the sun in pictorial form. It can only be represented one way. Notice how we don't have a wankerism curve in one of the lines that forms the angle, because then it won't be an angle. In other words, that's these bunch of cretins, either get on their knees and acknowledge the surface level that's flat that they measured and called an experiment, or they kick this to the curb and ask where the guns are. Yeah?
You will be faced with gunpoint and turned away. Where's the guns, Nathan?
So let's just get it summarised. Toon, you measured this. That's not a disputable, that's a fact. Toon measured these angles off of surface level. Facts. Indisputable flat earth measurement facts. What's that? Where's the guns ain't gonna cut it, you cretin? Calling them experiments means you must stand by them. And if you stand by this angle, then you stand by the surface being measured flat. Like Toon was told 103 times. Literally.
And do this themselves.
I didn't need to. Not only did I not need to do it personally, one of your participants called me up while he was doing it and then went nuts when I pointed out he was measuring a flat earth. Like, literally bonkers, started screaming my name into the snow about guns. Like he forgot about all the forms he had to fill in to not get stopped at gunpoint. Suddenly that all got forgotten about because he was being asked about the flat earth measurements he was making, Duffy. You're calling them experiments, mate.
Prior to my announcement of the final experiment in early 2024, a vast majority of flat earthers, with very few exceptions.
How many of them got phoned from Antarctica? Oh, none of them. So this little straw man doesn't include the only flat earther called from Antarctica. It seems like a very egregious burn him in hell kind of straw man lie that you're telling here. There's only one flat earther that was contacted, that you went out of your way to utilise the very expensive communication techniques you had available to you to get in touch with me personally. Now, I debunked this shit on screen 10 years ago, and it's been pointed out to one of the participants who took part and then also lied, Jaren. Yeah, Jaren was acutely aware, and when it was put to him during the lead up to this garbage charade called an experiment, actually just a flat earth elevation angle measurement session from the south, only measurable on a flat earth, after travelling straight and level on a plane. Yet Jaren already knew this garbage was debunked, didn't he? But he didn't mention it either. Very shilly. We did track the sun. We've already debunked this crap. And we pointed out the affirming the consequent formal logical fallacy that was being used on our behalf as a straw man by people like Duffy. But given that I'm the only flat earther contacted, you'd think that, given I'm not buying into this garbage that's being misrepresented by Duffy, that they'll actually take the time to not yell about guns and address the flat earth measurements. No, it's just the straw man, the only flat earther called from Antarctica, and what he did 10 years ago to debunk this shit, that doesn't get taken into consideration. Because all the other flat earthers, the ones that weren't called from Antarctica, oh, they all definitely buy this. So how come the only one who got a phone call doesn't and debunked it 10 years before you went down there? And one of your number knew it and affirmed it live before you got there? Oh, yeah, it was only an hour out. Yeah, that's right, it was out. AKA wrong. Jaren knew. He affirmed it before he got there.
Promoted the Gleason's map of the world.
No, this is a straw man a lie. I hope you burn in hell. You're a Christian, right? It just warrants hell. Okay? That's where you belong. No. Do you want to go and check out the track in the sun on a flat earth life? I mean, you went through my material and other people's material to find a comment from 8 years ago where I say that you'd be stopped at gunpoint. You know, I was proven correct. You bunch of dickheads. So you went and dug out a straw man so you could avoid answering the awful fact of you measuring Earth flat when put to you, in favour of a straw man from me. So you've obviously gone through 8 years of my comments, but you didn't notice the track in the sun on a flat earth where we debunked this crap, right? You found a comment saying that you'd be stopped at gunpoint. Turns out that was absolutely correct. Unless you go through the process that you all went through to stop that happening. to then say, where are the guns? Because you're idiots. Yeah? Meanwhile, you didn't find the track in the sun. That seems a bit stupid. Comments about guns, yeah, you can find one obscure comment on a random video, but you can't find an entire playlist that's on my homepage. That seems a bit stupid. Seems like crap research to me. But yet you want to misrepresent the entire flat earth community based on what the rest of the people who weren't contacted from Antarctica have got to say about it according to you. Duffy, the lying shyster, the fraudster. Yeah?
Which is an azimuthal equidistant projection
of a globe. So it's globe versus globe in a North Pole azimuthal equidistant globe-centric projection. It's just Duffy's a shyster and a liar and holding up this straw man and saying that the flat earth model he's claiming it is actually a globe projection might make him look like a disingenuous shyster who should burn in hell for his deceit. Yeah, that's exactly what it would make him look like, because he is a disingenuous lying shitbag who failed to mention this is a globe projection. Meanwhile, these lines from your globe projection are measured flat with Polaris, aren't they? So if we've got a North Pole-centric azimuthal equidistant projection that's utilising Polaris-based measurements, shouldn't we look at the measurements? Because the measurements are also stretched around a ball but incapable of being measured when these lines wrap around a ball. So I would suggest that given we definitely use latitude on a daily basis and you can only measure it flat, that means that we measure Earth flat for latitude. So that's it. That's the end of this discussion. If you're going to look at maps and models, you'd be better off presenting an actual flat Earth model rather than this globe projection, because you'll get called a shyster, a deceiver, a liar. And based on your Christian background, I would suggest you are worthy of a trip to hell to burn for your deceit and failure to disclose the fact of your globe projection on screen being strawmanned as a flat Earth projection I personally debunked 10 years ago with the help of Jaron. Another shyster.
This map had the North Pole at the center.
North, yeah, what, accurately represented in a horizontal orientation as north can only be. Yeah, that's right. North, you seem to have used when you describe travelling to Antarctica or Chile. So you'll be describing a flat Earth only orientation and directionality when you say south or north. So there we go. So Earth's going to be measured flat for north, south, level trips to Antarctica, elevation angle measurements to the sun, and perpendicular planes of reference for weight. Everything you've done, literally everything Duffy has done for TFE, affirmed the flat Earth that's been measured in all instances. There were no exceptions. Every measurement that was made was of a flat Earth.
And pushed the south to the outer perimeter of the known world.
It's a map. An incorrect map that we debunked 10 years ago of a globe projection that utilises measurements of a flat Earth with angles to Polaris.
This made Antarctica an ice wall perimeter.
No, it didn't. That's called a reification fallacy. The map is not the terrain. Hypothesization, the fallacy of misplaced concretedness. Misappropriating maps as the ground. No! Projecting out Antarctica on an azimuthal equidistant North Pole-centric globe projection puts Antarctica on the outside edge of the map when you project it azimuthal equidistant. Well, we don't live on an azimuthal equidistant projection, you stupid clown. That's a reification fallacy.
Around all the world's continents, which served to hold in all the world's oceans.
It's a map. Nothing's holding in the world's oceans. Certainly not map. Maps don't hold in jack. Azimuthal North Pole-centric globe projections aren't containers, you clown.
As flat earthers claim, water must have a container.
Water must have a container so that you can contain it. But in terms of what a map will do, a map is not a container. So your straw man where you suggest flat earthers say my reification fallacy of a globe projection. No, what I say, the only flat earther contacted from Antarctica personally,
Nathan!
What I say is, you'll measure Earth flat for one of the systems using Polaris. That's what I say. Are there any other measurements? Do we measure latitude any other way other than on a flat Earth? Because that's what I actually say. But this soon-to-be burning in hell, straw man burning asshole, lying shyster, deceiver, suggests that the model that isn't the world that we're standing on, that is the map of a globe projection, should be holding in water. Therefore what? When the sun's measured for 24 hours with angles of a flat Earth, we won't have water needing containment? This is stupid.
It also extends the entire southern hemisphere.
Hemisphere is the flat plane angle measurement utilising Polaris to create a hemispherical view based on angles to the stars. If you are to measure a star at your horizon in a protractor, that's 0 or 180 on the protractor. If you are to measure a star at your zenith, that is 90 on a protractor. Now, just because there's a star capable of measuring at the horizon does not mean that star has smashed into the ground. In fact, it is planar. Not the ground, although it is. The sky is planar. That star measured at 1 degree above the horizon, or at 180 on the other side of the protractor, that star is above someone else's head where you're measuring it at the horizon. That is to say that that view that you create mathematically is hemispherical. But what you're actually measuring is a flat ground and a flat sky to then depict it through a protractor view. If you were to look at the sky like this diagram on screen and imagine that this is your location and you are measuring the sky flat. When the sun is at your zenith, it is at 90 degrees. When the sun is above this man's zenith, it's at 45 degrees. When you measure the sun at the horizon, it's still above next man in line zenith. It's still above him. But for you, measuring a perspective view through a protractor, you see it through the protractor at a given degree value, off a flat plane. So if you imagine all of the stars being viewed through a protractor from your vantage point, it creates a hemispherical view from your perspective. You're here, there's a star on the horizon and a star at your zenith. That doesn't mean the star's smashed into the ground, it's still above someone else if someone else is standing here. But that's the view, hemispherical, measured flat. So when Duffy starts talking about Earth being a sphere or the sky being a sphere, that is a bastardization after the fact when you measure Earth and sky flat with angles. Now, just because you can see angles through a hemispherical protractor doesn't mean the sky curves. It certainly doesn't mean the ground curves, because then you don't have a view through the protractor anymore. This is what Duffy is detailing. You in the centre of a flat, extended plane. When inside the globe, you can call it the equatorial plane. When it's extended beyond the globe, the flat plane that we measure, it's called the celestial plane. They're both flat planes, they're both where you measure angles, and they both start in hell, if you believe you're in a globe. Now, we're not measuring angles inside globes, we can't, but so that you can represent the protractor view of a flat plane and flat sky, you can pretend that the view of the sky is a hemisphere, the same one you measured it with a protractor. In reality, you've got a flat sky and flat ground, and you will never measure anything from hell. But that's the system that gets created for you numpties to believe you're standing on a surface that is created from within in a globe, on a plane, measuring angles to stars like Polaris to create the systems like latitude. Measured flat. Earth is measured flat to create this hemispherical system being detailed by Duffy.
Into a larger and larger area, where on the globe, everything south of the equator gets closer and closer together.
Wrong. Duffy doesn't understand his own stupid, insane model. You're never on a globe measuring angles. You can't measure an angle from a curved surface. Curves don't give you angles. Where you do measure angles from is the flat plane, depicted in a ball because the ball is nothing more than a glorified protractor. That's how you acquire angles if you're going to reify models, which Duffy definitely does. Me, I can accurately and concisely describe the requirement for surface level being measured by tune. Sorry, what's that? Can you hear that? Where are the guns, Nathan? You lied! No, I didn't lie, you stupid dickhead. The Chilean government escorted a man away from Antarctica at gunpoint because he didn't have permission to be there like you clowns, measuring angles off a flat Earth.
This made being at the southern tip of South America
Is south. That's flat. Game over. If you're going to describe a directionality south, go and buy a compass. Point south. Does that look down to you? Do you not understand the difference between down and south, you stupid idiot? South is flat.
and in Antarctica, the perfect place to test flat Earth claims and also confirm the globe predictions.
But test flat Earth claims. Me saying you'll measure a flat Earth there 99 times before you arrived. Yeah, to tune. I told him 99 times before he got there that he measured Earth flat with elevation angles. That's not me exaggerating. That's not Creaky Blinder saying, I've told these flat earthers hundreds of times. That's literally, I've counted them. 99 times Toon got told that he'd be measuring a flat earth. Not asked, not a claim, me telling you. You understand? Now, it's not a shock to me that as soon as he got out his tools and started measuring the angles to the sun, he measured the same angles that I told him 99 times he'd measure off a flat earth. It's the only way to measure them. They're elevation angles. They're only capable of measurement off a flat earth. That's what they are. So it's not a shock that upon calling me proactively from the snow, the only flat earther who had such privilege, yeah, he got told for the 100th time, you're measuring a flat earth with elevation angles to the sun.
You measure Earth flat too.
Stop over talking.
Like with your elevation angles.
It's not a prediction. It's me telling you, you measure Earth flat. You went and confirmed it after I told him 99 times. So you think the response to the 99th rendition of me saying you measure a flat Earth with elevation angles was to go and measure them in Antarctica? Because that's exactly what Toon did. If you want to suggest that you went there to affirm flat earthers' predictions. No, you had a false dichotomy that you strawmanned us with, that I debunked 10 years earlier, I just covered it 10 minutes ago. But what I did tell you, in no uncertain terms, yeah, that was absolutely affirmed. I say 99 times, you measure Earth flat with angles.
You measure Earth flat too.
Stop over talking.
Like with your elevation angles.
And then he measured Earth flat with angles and got a bit nuts when I pointed it out for the 100th time, live as he was doing it. Toon measuring a flat Earth, that is. Yeah, it sent him nuts. Do you remember? I'd like to know from you, Duffy. It's just a question. I'm asking for a friend. Did you hear my name echo around Antarctica?
You will be Nathan. Where's the guns? Nathan! It's Nathan! It's Nathan! It's Nathan!
Question. I'm asking for a friend. Did you hear my name echo around Antarctica?
Every single flat Earth claim failed.
But the statement of fact that I made about measuring a flat Earth, they were never going to change, and there was no other thing to happen other than Toon measuring a flat Earth, and that's precisely what he did. That's why he went nuts. Again, asking for a friend. When he went nuts and started yelling about guns, feel free to check out the reports of the Chilean government escorting people off Antarctica. So he dispensed with his slight breakdown that he had when he deflected from the flat Earth measurements he'd heard about 99 times previously, and the 100th time broke him, to the point where he started yelling my name. I'm just asking, Duffy, did you hear my name? Because you would have been within a few yards of him yelling it.
It's Nathan! It's Nathan! It's Nathan!
Into the Antarctic abyss. They made a song about it. You might have heard it. It's by Mr. Cheswick. It's quite catchy. Yeah? The sun is shining.
He's alone, raging into his iPhone, screaming at the top of his lungs as a 24-hour sun. Oh, how we laughed in this flat land at such a comical sight. To see the tune, the globe head goose spewing out his shite. Shouting! Where's the guns, Nathan? You promised that I'd see. I'm all alone here raging. Everyone loves and blame. Oh, where's the guns, Nathan? In this Antarctic abyss. Not come all this distance just for you to take the piss. The ice wind's blowing, here he goes, pacing like a lunatic. Upside down on a spinning globe, but the best is yet to come. Oh, how we laughed in this flat land at such a comical sight. To see me tune the globe head goon spewing out his shots, swinging. Where's the guns, Nathan? You promised that I'd see. I'm all alone here raging. Everyone laughs at me. Oh, where's the guns, Nathan? In this Antarctic abyss. I've not came all this distance just for you to take the piss. The sun is shining, he's alone, reaching into his iPhone, screaming at the top of his lungs as a 24-hour sun. Oh, how we laugh
deflected to measurement. You are a scum liar. Every single one of your dumb followers needs to look at their lives and realize Nathan Oakley is a liar. Since 2016, he's been saying if you go to Antarctica, you will be faced with gunpoint and turned away. Where's the guns, Nathan? Where's the guns?